What it do, baby? It's your boy Baki back with another one. Listen, I've been having fun with this tier list thing, and you know I love Castlevania, so I thought it'd be interesting if we actually rank the Belmonts. So this is gonna be maybe a little controversial, and if you guys disagree or anything like that, you're more than welcome to express yourself in the comments. Feel free to do so. Just, don't bash nobody. Also, if you haven't done so, I appreciate it. If you subscribe, if you like this kind of content, I'm pushing out all types of things, reviews, reactions, these tier lists, everything, man. I'm doing it all. So if we're going to be talking about the Belmonts, I think it's very clear. This is the best Belmont image I could find, or like tier list I could find. I could have made my own, but to be fair, there's a lot of them here that I am happy to see. Like they have the alternate version of Trevor Belmont from Curse of Darkness. They have the Trevor from Mirrors of Fate. They have the Simon from Mirrors of Fate. They have Christopher Belmont, which is really important. Now they don't have his son. I don't think his son's not here. They even have Desmond Belmont, which is very interesting. So there's all and I always forget her name, bro. And the girl from Castlevania Legends. So a lot of the Belmonts are here, which is really cool. In fact, I actually ordered these guys, reorganized these guys in order of appearance in the universe, I believe. To my knowledge, anyway. But aside from these three, I don't. This is Victor Belmont. That's Gabriel, and that's Desmond, or whatever. Anyways, so I thought it'd be fun to do this ranking. Now, when we're doing the ranking here, we kind of got to look at a few things. The first thing is we are going to look at gameplay more than anything else for a lot of these characters, especially the main cast, and also the feats that were done. So just bear with me a moment, okay? First up, we got old girl from Castlevania Legends. Now, she's not really the best, obviously. You know, Game Boy games, very limited. Same with Christopher Belmont. I don't know. I guess I'd give her... I'm trying to think about her levels and like what you had to do. Nah, she's gonna go bottom tier compared to some of what the other ones go through. She didn't really experience that. Now, next up, we're going to be doing Leon Belmont. Now, Leon Belmont is my boy, and I think Leon Belmont is really strong. Now, is he SS tier? I don't know. It's debatable. To be fair, though, here's something I must say about Leon Belmont, and this is what makes him so strong. He has so many moves by the end of his game that he is a completely different person than when he first enters the castle, right? And it's not Dracula's castle. I forget the dude's name. It's just not Dracula's castle, right? It's some other dude's castle. But Leon Belmont pretty much learns on the fly. So you have to take that in account with really like what he does, because he kind of progresses in a way where the other Richters or the other Belmonts never did. They all were very much trained, young, a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, to do what they needed to do. Whereas Leon kind of like fell into it and adapted on the fly, which is why I give him a little bit of a knock up from like an A tier, probably to S tier. But there's some crazy moves with Leon Belmont. See, if you've never played Lament of Innocence, the cool thing is when you have the orb selection screen, in your orb selection screen, there's 7 different orbs. 5 you need, 2 you don't. The black and white orb are the 2 extras you get from defeating the extra bosses in the game. When you use any sub-weapon with it, meaning if I use an axe, the axe does a different thing with the blue orb, the white orb, the black orb, the orange orb, the red orb. So he has literally probably the most arsenal in any of the games because of that factor right there. It's one of my absolute favorite games to play because it just feels like it really does adapt on the fly and you just flow through it. It's a very like flow game. It just flow. Beat the final bosses and then it's over. But there's so much progression with it. So for Leon, that's my boy, bro. I'm going to put him at S for now. I might be able to argue later, but we'll see. Next up is Christopher Belmont. Now, he does the Castlevania Adventure, Castlevania The Adventure 2 games. Those games are, I don't know. They're okay. They're okay games. They're just on the Game Boy. Castlevania 1, Castlevania The Adventure, the first one, is the weaker game. Castlevania Adventure 2 is pretty strong. He gets that dope fire blast when he throws the whip, and if you're at full health, you'll get an extra projectile that comes out of it. which I don't think any other Belmont has off of their whip. So for that, he's still going to go to C, but he's going to go above Old Girl and Castlevania Legends. Next up is Simon Belmont. Now, I'm pretty sure this is Simon. I can't tell, though. I think this is Simon's original, like, design art, but this could be Trevor. If it is, let me know if I made a mistake. But I'm going to go for the fact we're just going to say this is Simon right now, okay? Simon Belmont is interesting because what I liked about Simon is he had to do it twice, and he does something that no other Belmont does, which is he resurrects Dracula himself to defeat him. And I think that's such a cool idea. Like, could you imagine being from Dracula's perspective, and he's just like in whatever state he's in, floating around as a consciousness, and then he's getting brought back to life. He's like, oh yeah, my boys brought me back. And he wake up and he sees the same person that put him to bed. I think that's just so cool. And I think it's just a crazy concept in the whole Castlevania lore. Like, that Belmont, that second Belmont kill had to sting hard, bro. You know what I mean? That had to sting hard for Dracula. Like, yo, I wake up and he here. What? So I really, really like Simon. I'm going to give him a B, though. He doesn't really get too many crazy things. And he's not really that strong in the sense of the Belmonts, right? This is the same. These two Simons are the same. So that's my whole thing, is like they're not really much different. This is Netflix. Wait, this is the Simon from Anthology or Chronicles, right? Yeah, he's C tier, bro. He's so stiff. This is the Simon from Chronicles. He's super stiff. Simon and Simon's Quest is much better. If this is Chronicles, yeah, he is a stiff boy. This is the Simon in Mirrors of Fate. He's definitely stronger than regular Simon, if you're gonna put it like that. But I don't even consider these two the real. This is my real Simon, and he would go B. But if we're gonna have fun here, which is what we're supposed to be doing, I'm gonna put the Mirrors of Fate and Chronicles Simon in there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna do the same thing with Trevor here. So, but this is weird because he put Netflix Trevor. He didn't put actual video game Trevor. So here's what we'll do. I'll talk about Netflix Trevor, but we'll just go off of video game stuff. Netflix Trevor is a very interesting character, and I think he evolved beautifully as a character throughout the Netflix series. Now, I have a bunch of gripes about that series, which we're not going to get into right now, but I really do like the evolution of Trevor as a character, you know, kind of a wanderer, almost like a better version of Jubei from Ninja Scroll, like this random wanderer who really didn't have anything attached to him anymore, and kind of just floating through things that falls into something much more major than himself. I really, really like that about Trevor in that. And shout out to them shouting out Leon in the Castlevania series. But anyways, let's go to the game. So Trevor is a weird one for me because I hardly use him in the third game that he's in. Now, the reason why I say this is because everyone else is just so much better. Sypha can freeze water and use her advantages. You know, Alucard can fly. Grant can like walk on walls. Everybody can do dope things. Trevor's just in there with a whip and whatever special weapon you got. And while that's okay, I think that him having help to defeat Dracula kind of negates him a little bit. And it kind of shows that he might not have been the best. So I'm actually going to put him behind Simon. Again, think about what Simon did. Simon beat Dracula and then came back and had to do it again, essentially, you know? Okay, next up this is Trevor Belmont again, but he is from Castlevania Curse of Darkness, which is the PS2 game where you play as Richter. But if you beat the game, you can play as Trevor later on. Now, Trevor's actually sick in this game. This Trevor is actually pretty strong. He's very similar to Leon in that sense that they have tons of combos, tons of moves, tons of variables and variety. But you know what, though? He doesn't really have... Oh, no, he can do the crazy sub-weapon stuff, too. Yeah, no. He's really, really strong in here. He can do crazy, crazy sub-weapon abilities. that have like knives that can follow you around, all types of just wild stuff that he can do. And I really, really love this. This is my favorite depiction of Trevor. The Belmonts, like in this art style, is my absolute favorite. You know, it just like screams like Symphony of the Night, and it starts with that beautiful artistic vibe and sticks with it. I love that, dude. I love it. This is the Trevor Belmont in Mirrors of Fate. I really don't remember him, bro, too much. I really don't remember how Mirrors of Fate plays with Trevor. I really can't remember. I'm gonna put him up there though. I'm gonna be honest with you, like Trevor Belmont in Mirrors of Fate. I do remember him, but I don't. I think him and Simon are very similar to each other in that game. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put them both at B tier. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong with that one, because I'm really having a hard time remembering the difference between the two. Okay, next up is Juste Belmont. Now, Juste is super strong. People roast Juste because, you know, Harmony and Dissonance, he's like doing furniture. He's like a furniture. He's like a decorative designer. Like he's just like decorating your rooms. But he is actually really strong because he is the grandson of Trevor, which means Trevor and Sypha had the magic. So there's a lot of magic here with Juste. Juste, I would actually put above Trevor for sure, bro. Juste can mob around, bro. Think about how fast he is when he's moving. Think about the abilities that he throws out. You know what? I would actually probably even put him as S tier. He is really, really strong, dude. Juste has so much variety in his abilities and moves too. You know, the only thing that I don't like personally like about Juste is the whole, you know, dashing left and right, that kind of ordeal. Oh man, I should have been doing it like that. You know, that kind of ordeal. That's my whole biggest like gripe about Juste is the whole dash left right, dash left right. He doesn't really have any abilities, I guess, but he can do what most other Belmonts can't, which is like the dash, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in S tier because he's definitely better. He would beat the hell out of Trevor Belmont from Curse of Darkness, 100%. Him and Leon would beat the hell out of Trevor from Curse. These two would beat everybody down here. That's kind of how I'm looking at these. It's almost like who's beating who. Now we get to where it's interesting. We're talking about Richter, the man who broke the link between the vampire killer whip and the Belmonts. I think Richter is really strong, but he's also really weak. He can die very, very easy to a lot of things, even early game, you know, and I get it. That's to make the game a little bit harder. But if you're talking about replaying him in Symphony of the Night, I'm saying in Rondo of Blood, though, he's almost perfect. Rondo of Blood's one of those games where I've only beaten it like 6 times, right? But every time I've beaten it, I've gotten better, and I'm starting to get to the point now where you can memorize a lot of the things that are going to occur. He can almost run through his thing flawless without ever really struggling, you know. And I guess you could say that's anybody. If you got good with all these games, you could say that with anyone, of course. But what I mean is it's very easy to become dope with Richter in his games, you know, just like these guys. Very easy to become amazing with the character. So I'm actually gonna put Richter up here too, man, in S tier. I put him behind these two still though, because they have so much magical abilities behind them. There's just no touching them. Leon has all of these orbs, man. He just has all these crazy abilities. And Juste is the same way. He's got all these magic abilities that he has. It's just gonna destroy. Richter, he's got like the uppercut. He's got that little blade move you can give him in Symphony of the Night and all that stuff. But if you're talking about like Rondo of Blood even, you know, the backflip, the whip, everything's really strong with Richter. If you notice, like a lot of enemies die really fast with Richter. He's really, 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 really strong. That's why I want him in the S tier, you know? Okay, now we're on to the last Belmont in the timeline, which is Julius Belmont. This dude, he might, I don't know. I think I'm going to give him the double S, man. And I know that's crazy. You're like, he doesn't even have a game, Baki. Listen to me. When you play as him in, what is it, Dawn of Sorrow, right? Or Aria, no, it's Dawn, right? Whichever one it is. He is so strong. It's insane. He has all the special weapons, access to all the special weapons. Honestly, I would put both of these guys at double S. I'd put both of these guys. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Because these guys are essentially, Julius and Leon are essentially the same. And the irony is, it's the beginning and the end. Ooh. But like, he has so much amazing movement. He has an invincibility dash where he can't be touched. His uppercut is 10 times better than Richter's. He has access to all of the special weapons and then special magic on top of the special weapons. Then he can throw, like, he's just so powerful, man. I love Julius Belmont, and I hope we get a Dracula War game one of these days. You know what I mean? For 1999, I would love a 1999 Dracula War game, but who knows what'll happen with that? You know. But these are the main timeline guys. Her excluded, you know, and the Mirrors of Fate Chronicles. You know what I mean? But this is like the main timeline of the Belmonts. Then we go on to Gabriel Belmont in Mirrors of Fate. Now, honestly, he's strong, but he's not that strong. He gets better in like the second game, but that's when he becomes a vampire, and I don't consider him a Belmont anymore at that point. You know what I mean? So, you know, just his first game, essentially, him and Trevor would be scrapping. This would be a dope ass game to see, actually. Like, Curse of Darkness Trevor versus Gabriel Belmont, Lords of Shadow. That'd be sick. Victor Belmont, I have no clue. I don't even know if you see that man fight. Desmond, booty, bro. I hate this guy. Hell nah. Look at him. Look at him. No way. But yeah, I think these four are the main that you would be arguing are the greatest. And I guess there's room for debate. So if you guys have any like honest, you know, opinions about it, I'd love to hear it. You know, there's no wrong opinions here. Nothing like that, dude. I just love to talk about this kind of stuff. I'm a big Castlevania fan. Again, I don't know if you guys haven't seen, we did the Castlevania tier list. People were kind of flaming me for me putting the games in C, but some of the games are mid, you know, but that doesn't mean they're bad. I don't know why people think, you know, a game that's a C is a bad. It's just some of the games are kind of meh. You kind of like lull through them, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's going to be it for me on this one, man. This has been a pretty fun talk. Again, up for debate, completely. Not saying I want to debate you guys, but I'm saying the tier list is obviously up for debate. And, you know, if you guys feel differently or feel something else should go somewhere, you know, I'd love to hear why, or, you know, put it down below, man. I love this series, and I think it'd be nice to just start talking about it again and get it back in people's eyes, you know what I'm saying? That's really what this is about, you know. And yeah, man, I absolutely love these four fucking Belmonts. Even though I don't like his game. I don't really like his game, but he's in a top tier game. Well, unless it's Dawn, which I don't. He's almost in the top tier game. If it wasn't for that stylus crap, top tier game. You know, he's in like B tier, A tier. I'm rambling. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for me on this. Hope you guys had a fun time with this one. Just a little yapping, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't done so, subscribe if you made it to the end. I'd love to see you. Hit a like for your boy and comment down below, man. Let's talk about it. What else would you guys like to see me do for tier list, man? I'm pretty cultured. I got From Software. I could do a From Software tier list. I've beaten almost every single From Software game they've ever made. Starting from 1994. See y'all on the next one. Peace.